Today, we're going to talk about Cargo Cult Agile and why it's destroying the Agile, the Scrum implementation in your organization. We have a lot to cover today, so let's not waste any more time. First off, what is Cargo Cult? It all started during the Second World War. The US and Japan fought over the Melanesian islands. During this period, there were cargo droppings on both sides of the aisle. Cargo droppings of food, clothes, weapon, all descending from the skies in parachutes. It was the first contact with a more advanced civilization. For the islanders, some of the islanders guided the troops, supported, helped the troops, and in return they would get clothes, weapons from the cargo droppings. But at the end of the war, the US, Japan left and the cargo droppings stopped. The islanders, they wanted the cargo droppings, the magical cargo droppings back. Full cults started appearing around the idea of bringing back these offerings from the sky, from heaven. They started building airstrips, planes, radio stations out of wood, thinking that these would summon the big planes that were coming during wartime. But obviously, nothing happened. You might think that these islanders, they are stupid people. This would never apply to you. There's no way you're falling for this trap. But most organizations implementing Agile, implementing Scrum, at some point in the implementation, they will fall for this trap. Cargo Cult Agile is when an organization hears about Agile, about Scrum, all the benefits, cheaper, faster product delivery. Customers will love it. People will be more engaged, motivated. They get excited, the organization, they get excited. And all of a sudden, they start renaming the product managers to Scrum Masters, the business analysts, stakeholders to product owners. They completely stop using the waterfall phases, development, testing, moving to production. But in reality, they just renamed these phases as development sprint 1, development sprint 2, testing sprint, moving to production sprint. Just rename the waterfall phases to something more agile. The organization thinks that it's the names, the rules, the rituals that make you Agile, that make you go faster, that make you work better. They are focusing on doing Agile and not being Agile. Classic Cargo Cult mentality. Same as building airstrips. Wooden airstrips will not make cargo planes, magical cargo planes appear. Same thing applies for this Cargo Cult Agile mentality. Renaming project managers to Scrum Masters, doing all the Scrum events, hiring Agile coaches will not make you Agile. I often get these types of questions from Scrum Masters. They support a single team, 10 people. They do all the Scrum events, the daily Scrum every single day, the sprint planning, the sprint retrospective, as a product owner, as developers working together. But they are not going faster. They ask me, what should I do, coach? I'm doing all these things as per the Scrum guide, the latest version, but we are not going faster. We are not delivering valuable products. We are going slower. What should I do? Again, it's not because you are doing all these things that you automatically get all the benefits of Agile, of Scrum. You are doing Agile, but you might not be Agile. Before talking about how to fix that, let's give you a list of questions that you can answer right now. Take a piece of paper, a pen, answer these 13 questions. If you get yes more than 8-9 times for these 13 questions, you are in trouble. You are a cult leader, maybe. Your organization is doing Cargo Cult Agile. Number 1, stakeholders decide what to ship, what to build, not the product owner. Deadlines. Fixed delivery dates are provided by top management 1 year prior. Number 3, the product owner is not talking to customers. Number 4, product owner spends most of the time writing stories instead of doing more valuable things. Number 5, doubtful value of the products. No one knows why we are building these products. Some stakeholders, management, they want to push products maybe for bonuses. Number 6, there's a dedicated Scrum teams for minor change requests and bug fixing. Stakeholders are never attending Scrum events or rarely attend Scrum events. Developers don't participate in user story creation. Number 9, sprint backlogs are often changed in the middle of a sprint just because we missed something or something more important cropped up. Number 10, we do sprint retrospectives, but often, very often, nothing changes. Number 11, deadlines and fixed schedules are still used for non-critical issues. Number 12, teams. The teams are not cross-functional, so they are dependent on other teams, on other people in the organization. And the last one, my personal favorite, daily Scrum meetings that look a lot like status meetings, where people in the meeting, developers, feel compelled to show that they are working, so they talk 5 minutes, 6 minutes, giving their updates to a product owner, to a Scrum Master, like they are reporting to these people. They feel compelled to talk just to show that they are working. And the worst part, this thing lasts 45 minutes because everyone is talking for 6 minutes. And no one is working prior to the daily Scrum because context switching. Let's not work because we know there will be context switching. And after the 45 minutes, 1 hour daily Scrum, it's already time for lunch. 1 hour until lunch, so why start working now? Let's start working after the lunch. Now, fixing Cargo Cult Agile is unfortunately way more complex, way harder than detecting it. A good starting point is leadership. A successful Agile implementation starts with a top-down approach. Leadership, they really need to get it. They need to understand why we are doing it. And a 2-day Agile course, renaming their titles, won't make them Agile. They really need to understand why we are doing it, and they need to believe that it's the right way, the right approach. Leadership are the preachers of an organization's culture and mindset. They need to be constantly, consistently selling, preaching this Agile thing, this Scrum thing, if you're using Scrum. People in the organization really need to understand why we are doing it and what are the benefits that we are trying to achieve with it. The why is extremely important. Leadership, once they understand that, they need to be constantly preaching it. The second thing you need to do is start building Agile teams. Doesn't matter what framework you use. Start building Agile teams. Less management, less leadership, less involvement from leadership. Self-organized teams, self-managed teams. IT people, tech people, and business people working together. Remove these titles. Doesn't make any sense now to have these titles. Same family. Everyone under the same roof and everyone is working together. There's no segregation between IT people and business people. Next, pick a framework. Scrum, Kanban, SAFe, anything that the people want. Try to not let the leadership dictate what framework to use. Let the people decide what is best for them. And remember to always stop implementing all these things, Scrum events if you're using Scrum, or Agile practices, without knowing why you're doing blindly implementing all these things, changing job titles, implementing all these things, expecting you'll get all the benefits blindly without knowing why you're doing them. Stop doing Agile. Be Agile. If you want more tips, insights on Agile, Scrum, personal growth, click on the video that stands out the most on the screen right now, and I'll see you in a few seconds.